Good afternoon, everybody. I'm speaking to you today from the traditional territory of the signatories of Treaty 7, and I'd like to acknowledge the Métis people of Alberta who share a very deep connection with this land. I'm also joined today by Calgary Mountain View MLA and NDP energy critic Kathleen Ganley, who has worked tirelessly for months to advocate for families facing cost of living crises that they may not have experienced in a whole lifetime. I am here today with a direct appeal to the current government. Let us come together today and literally save Alberta families hundreds of dollars. This truly could be done immediately. Today, inflation has reached levels we just haven't seen since the 1980s. More than half of all Albertans have never seen this in their lifetime. Prices for the basic necessities of life are climbing every month, outrageously, while wages do not. Albertans are feeling real anxiety at the grocery store as the bill to feed their family gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The price of fresh vegetables are up more than 10% over last year. Meat is up 9%, fish is up nearly 12%, and cooking oil 30%. Economists are forecasting that this problem is going to get worse before it gets better. And that means more hardship for Alberta families, more worrying about how to keep food on the table, keep a roof overhead, and cover the bills. And we know that vulnerable Albertans will take this hit the hardest, and in fact, already are. Those of you who are listening right now who make, $100,000 a year or more, you're finding costs high and you're finding making ends meet even more challenging than ever. But imagine having half that income and trying to buy healthy groceries for your kids or putting gas in your car to get to work. And that is where this crisis will land hardest, and it therefore should be justification for every elected official in this province to be taking action immediately. Now, there are several ways that the provincial government controls the impact of inflation on Albertans and the impact on other monthly bills. We have an opportunity to take immediate action to reduce that pain for Alberta families. And I'm going to challenge my counterparts in the UCP to work together so that we can take that action together. Now, the UCP claims that they want to act, but they haven't done very much to date. Almost 6 months ago, Associate Electricity Minister Dale Nally said help was on the way for spiking power bills. Finally, this week, we heard that those rebates will begin going out to Albertans next month. But this maxes out at $150 per household. It comes far too little and far too late. The families that we've heard from will likely use this money to pay off utility bills that they actually had to put on their credit cards dating back to before January. So the fact is we could do more. We could also ban utility shutoffs for families who can't afford their bill. And we can get those natural gas rebates out the door immediately, not sometime next fall or early in the next year. The fact is, those things were promised by the Premier late last year. And furthermore, we actually think that reinstating a cap on electricity rates would be better for families because it would give them more predictability and stability in terms of what they can expect to have to pay each month going forward. But the failures of this government actually get worse, and that's what we're specifically focusing on today, because they have made deliberate policy choices to pile costs onto families, costs that increase as inflation rises. They've used inflation to actually increase Albertans' personal income taxes. The fact of the matter, with inflation being so much greater now than anyone ever expected to be, that has forced Albertans to pay an additional $1 billion in personal income taxes. $1 billion that is going into a government bank account instead of staying in Albertans' pockets. And to be clear, it's a grab from Albertans' politics that disproportionately impacts those who are low and middle income. So the provincial government can reverse these changes immediately. Now, over the same 3 years since they put that tax grab into place, they also used inflation to cut the child and family benefit, the seniors benefit, income support programs, and AISH. as I've said before, inflation is at a 40-year high. So the amount of actual food these benefits pay for is collapsing by hundreds and hundreds of dollars every year. So I'm appealing directly to Jason Kenney. He's still the Premier and still the leader of the UCP for a few more months. Recall the legislature, and we will work with the Premier to reverse these cuts to benefits and these increases to taxes paid primarily or mostly by lower income Albertans. If we work hard, it won't take more than a day or two to put this fix in place. Because we can't wait until October or November or until after an election. Albertans need help now. And Alberta's NDP is ready to work collaboratively to get it done. And the fact is, if we did that, if we took action and adjusted the tax system and the benefits to account for the current rate of inflation, the average family of 4 would get over $350 in the space of a year. A low-income seniors couple would get nearly $400. An AISH recipient who's struggling the most would get over $1,500. And let me be clear, these payouts would start to be felt by families very quickly. The average family of 4 who receives the Alberta Child and Family Benefit, those checks arrive in August. So they would see the benefit that quickly. And as far as the tax changes, well, people could talk to their employers and start getting less pulled off of their checks the minute that change went into effect. So let me throw a few more things out there to help families, and let's call this one a little bit of a stretch goal. We can freeze post-secondary tuition. We can cut the interest on student loan payments that this government previously raised. We can put a cap back onto auto insurance. We can scrap camping fees in Kananaska's country. These are the things that the provincial government can do, and none of them are complicated. We are in the worst affordability crisis this province has seen in 40 years. This has to be a top priority for all elected leaders, regardless of what's going on inside their parties at the same time. An NDP government will always be focused on keeping more money in Albertans' pockets. But if Jason Kenney and the UCP share our concern for Alberta families, well, I'm willing to work on getting this done right away. So thank you, and either Kathleen and I are happy to take any questions you might have.
Okay, we'll open up to questions on the line. First question goes to Dean Bennett.
Topic questions. One is, I don't know if you've seen Michelle Rempel-Garner's note today on social media. She says she doesn't see herself running for the UCP because she basically characterizes as a toxic mess of infighting and backbiting. Have you seen that, and what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that what her statement reveals is that Albertans can't trust the UCP to stay focused on the issues that matter most to Albertans. Affordability, healthcare, fixing our education system. These are the things that they should be focused on. And her statement includes incredibly revealing descriptions of how that is not what Albertans can count on from the UCP. The idea that it takes them hours and hours and hours in very disruptive meetings in order to make what should be simple policy decisions, that means that Albertans aren't going to be able to trust their government to act quickly and effectively in a thoughtful way to strategically support the priorities of Albertans.
Did you have a follow-up, Dean?
Thanks. Yeah, also I had a chance to talk to Danielle Smith yesterday, and given that she's one of the front runners for the UCP, she's saying not only will she bring in a Sovereignty Act this fall, it'll be actually this fall, next session, along with the first steps in a provincial police force and an Alberta agency to collect taxes. My question to you is, what do you think about that? And also, she says they don't need to wait for an election for this. They have a mandate to do it through the equalization referendum and the fair deal panel. What do you think?
Well, I would disagree with her. I would suggest that she go back to the dictionary and check what the word mandate means, because they do not have a mandate for these kinds of extreme policy positions. Let me be clear. First of all, Albertans need their government not to be focused on pretend fights with Ottawa, but to be focused on the urgent things that are confronting Albertans in their life today that the Alberta government actually has authority over. Those are affordability issues. That is the daily disturbing stories of the way in which our healthcare system is collapsing when our loved ones go in search of care. And the concerns we have about the future of our education system and the fact that so many young people are leaving the province. That's what people care about, that and paying their bills, not some pretend fight with Ottawa that's going to cost Alberta taxpayers more, both in terms of their tax dollars going towards funding these strange projects, or in terms of a loss of investment dollars because folks don't trust the stability of our political system in this province enough to do that important diversification investment that so many Albertans are seeking.
Any other questions, Dean?
Great, thank you.
Okay, we'll do one more quick pass for questions on the line. Remind you to use the raise hand function. And seeing none, that's all for today.
Thank you.
So much for watching, and to learn more, check out albertasfuture.ca.